Good evening, good afternoon, wherever you find yourself in this weird, wild, wacky world of ours, and welcome to an exciting installment of Darkness in Dublin. This evening's scene is going to be set at the Crossroads, the new freehold of Baron Alexis Whitfrost ap Baird, because that's an incredibly long name to say. The freehold itself is now starting to take shape, chimerical high walls rising up, blazoned with the golden sun of House of Erich. Inside, it looks very much like you would expect a large, well-purposed train station to look, with different locomotives standing ready to take passengers to one of a number of destinations. Though the Baron appears worried today, the construction is coming along at pace, but he and his ever-faithful knocker Borscht are standing looking down at a series of complicated blueprints. Outside, the weather has gotten substantially worse. Winds buffet the structure. These are not natural winds. These are cold. These are winds from the sea. Something is coming. The Baron taps his foot somewhat impatiently as he looks down. Needless to say, we'll just have to whip the knockers to work a little bit faster, but your people are used to that, huh?
Борщ 16. Да. It is, да. We'll leave it at that.
Something is coming. Something that is not very nice.
Your grandmother? Your grandmother?
No, we killed that bitch long ago.
Oh, да. Sorry.
Though you did steal her recipe for potatoes. Those were good potatoes.
No.
Anybody else got a chill on the wind? Luca will say as he steps from the shadows.
Yes, it is unnerving, and people have been hearing the call of wolves. Something. But, c'est la vie. I want this place. You know what? I'm going to take that as in character. He flinches a little bit.
Borscht just looks around. What the fuck was that?
You know how I said that there were wolves? Well, fucking wolves!
Borscht just fucking pulls Sasha that he's kept on a sling around him to the front. He's just kind of looking around.
So Violet walks up. Hey, Borscht. What you doing there?
There are wolves.
You mean the wolves that, never actually show up and just howl all the time?
What if they show up this time, and I did not have Sasha? Then my throat would be torn out and eaten, like I eat borscht.
So I brought some clam chowder and calamari, and I was actually going to bring some for Willow, but she isn't here. But it's still very warm if you guys are feeling a little cold.
Voidfrost will accept the charter. He passes up on the calamari. There's almost a sick look that passes over his features. Like, nope, not gonna eat that. Nope.
Luca will point at Voidfrost's calamari.
Go. Eat it.
He gives a big smirk and drags the plate over to him. So
I will say, this is the blessing of you red kips. You can literally eat anything.
Oh, I'd eat these anyways. He tosses up a mouthful.
Helpful.
They're very good. I got a total of 5 successes because the 10 doubles.
You misunderstand, my dear. The fact of the matter is that when Sir Ragnar died, he was crushed to death by a giant octopus chimera.
Oh.
No.
Yeah, that didn't taste too good.
Oh yes, you did bite the thing. But needless to say, Joey, if you'd like to join us, now's a good time.
So I'm assuming you guys are indoors, right?
Basically, the large entrance to the freehold doesn't have a door yet. So essentially, think about it like they're standing in the middle of a huge construction zone. So there isn't a door, but yes, they're inside a structure.
So a very tall, lean figure approaches the doorway, hood up, and as it gets closer, you can see the hood is a large bear's like head. The figure, as they enter, kind of looks around before taking the hood back to reveal Trias's very regal features as she regards the construction work going on around her. She does have a couple of new scars on her face, but they somehow only add to her like wild yet regal features rather than detracting. And she makes her way towards the group.
As I said, basically, Void Frost and Borscht are standing at a table that have a series of very complicated and intricate-looking blueprints on them. One of them might be for a dog with a rotary cannon on its back, but shh, it's fine.
I think Borscht and Triasa have met before.
Yeah, they were the one. She was the one. They had the. They were gonna have the competition to see who could knock up the most opponents.
Yeah.
It is a pleasure to see you again, Barrow.
Ah, Baron Voidfrost. And she bows. I am glad to find you here. The wind has been bringing unpleasant tidings.
Oh, and what is it that you have heard?
I have heard the same rumors as everyone else. And the Nervosa have become more vicious. My patrols are becoming more dangerous.
If I may say, I think everybody heard the giant cloud yelling.
That does not mean it cannot be discussed.
Needless to say, my main concern at the moment is the completion of my bastion before the storm breaks. I have every boggin in my barony currently chiseling stone. So we shall see if I can race out the clock.
Could you perhaps... You see, I came to you, actually, with a purpose. I need a blade. My patrols are becoming too dangerous to go on in my war form. I need a weapon. And I've heard that your house is very... that your household is very successful. And that we have a long history of our houses together. So I thought I would come and see if perhaps one of your house would be willing to work on such a blade for me.
He looks at Borscht. He looks at Borscht. You don't do swords, do you?
Yet, although we do have that sword that I've been used to stir borscht with.
Oh, there's the Borscht. No, that is the Borscht sword. We cannot part with the borscht. Ever since you started to stir the borscht with that, it's made it taste better.
It is the blood.
I know I'm not part of your house, but he looks at Voidfrost, but I could work on something if most of your people are still working on this fine establishment, and he'll look around.
I could make you a gun.
I appreciate the offer, but I have next to no skill with a firearm.
If you require a sword, the sword can be provided. My question is, he leans across the table. What kind of sword do you want? Do you want a chimerical sword? Are you willing to provide us with the reagents, dross, and favors necessary for us to make you a treasure for a sword? What is it you want?
She leans, like, she kind of leans closer, sets her hands on the table, and says, I have a duty to my Baron. I will provide whatever dross regents are needed in order to make as fine a blade to defend my people as is needed.
If you provide me with the reagents, the magical item, or the magical components necessary for such a sword, I will forge one for you. I don't like forging, it takes time, and he flicks his hair. What can I say? It's terrible on the follicles, but I'll do it. But if you wish a treasure sword, as I said, a sword that is a true heirloom of your family, you will need to bring me whatever reagents you wish to have it birthed.
She nods and she says, it would be my honor.
And in exchange, he contemplates his price. All magic comes with a price. So, what would be a fair trade? You bring me the reagents, and I will give you my time. I will spin them into a sword worthy of your family and your name. And in exchange, in the future, a single yes.
She thinks this over for a moment. So long as this yes does not betray my liege lord, then I give it.
He cracks his fist down on the table, and Evan's going to roll some dice.
Hooray!
Because contracts is a hell of a drug.
Contracts is a hell of a drug.
So we'll take the cracking of the hand down just as a simple 1 point bunk. Triasa, last time I checked, you count as Fae.
No, she's a duck.
A fate.
Hell yeah.
So, and we're in a freehold, so I'll bring the difficulty down to 5.
Huzzah!
Oh, holy crap! Yes, you are bound to your contract with Void Frost. I will make a note of that. You will also make a note of that. You have to provide the reagents, but if you provide them to him, he will forge you a sword.
I'm just writing that down.
And in exchange, you owe him a single yes that cannot be used to betray your liege lord.
There's a reason I added that in there.
But Void Frost will nod as he looks down at his papers again, and he will say, that, and when all this is over, I also have a wedding to plan. Borscht, are you still doing the eulogy?
No.
I'm sorry. Isn't eulogy typically referring to a speech about the dead?
Okay, Kim. I'm going to phrase it like this. Void Frost stops, contemplates. It's interesting. He says, oh, of course you're right. My English, it must have failed me. You sense he knows exactly the word he chose.
Yeah, Lucas attempting to hide a smirk.
So, that is all settled. Needless to say, this is going to be an interesting time if this storm breaks as angrily as I think it might. I recommend, if you have them, that you all look to your loved ones. I intend to look to mine. Which immediately, Borscht, that just tickled you in places. Ha, Varich, loved ones. Ha.
Borscht just looks at his gun.
Does Borscht love his gun?
It's the only thing he does.
It's acceptable. But I fear what will come from the storm. But we shall see.
Storms do two things. What out of character? What's the correct word for like address for a baron? I can't remember.
It's either your lordship or baron, whichever you prefer.
Okay. She just says, storms bring one of two things, your lordship. They bring death or they bring strength. I simply pray this one brings the former.
So we shall pray with the dreaming on our side. That does not mean that when it comes I shall not close my doors, enchant my entrances, and pray that there will see another dawn.
She actually grins and says, it has been an interesting time here. I do hope that my time is not brought short by that my time in Dublin is not brought short by this oncoming winter.
Myself and Borscht know all too well that in winter, when there is a storm, the darkness of the nights, and what happens when wolves walk abroad. We have seen this. We know that when this happens, you must prepare, light your fires, and stay hidden and warm until the morning comes.
She nods. She looks around at the hall and she says, "This is quite an impressive construction. It seems your house is very efficient, Baron Voidfrost."
Skill is always valued within our ranks. But yes, this is the culmination of a great dream of mine. The dream of freedom for our kind to come and go, to see many places and return, for the wealth of the world to flood here and us to flood outward. After all, this is Ireland. The Tuatha were born here.
She looks like at where the like the trains like would be, like with the train tracks would be, and she says, "Where are you? Where are the destinations?"
He points. There are currently 5 of them. Actually, no, there are currently 6. I do apologize. There are 3 on either side, and then there's one at the very end that appears much more ornate than the others. He points to them each in turn, and he says, "That one, New York, Tokyo, Cape Town." Then, sorry, there are 7 in all. I can brain 3 to the left, 3 to the right, 1 at the center. Then we have Rio, we have Paris, and we have Dubai. And that one straight ahead leads into the dreaming.
Interesting. How do they function, if I may ask?
They are trods the same as any other. We merely intend to make them more comfortably navigable by knocker ingenuity. He will say, looking at Borscht.
Borscht is still looking at his gun. His Baron tells him to look at his loved ones, and he does so.
Borscht, you're stroking your shaft again.
In public, oh gosh, I'm sorry.
I was telling these nice people about Knocker ingenuity, and you appear to have been slightly spellbound.
She is just so beautiful.
I say, Sir Borscht, we still have that contest to attend to at some point.
No.
Perhaps after this storm passes, it will be a good way to reacquaint ourselves with the outside after spending some time in our halls.
No, it sounds agreeable to me.
And she nods.
Oh yes, this was the thing about knocking up the commoners.
Only those who were threats to the barony, of course. And she's looking at Luca.
I'm sorry, doing what to the commoners?
Looking them up, you know. Barcelona is kind of like shadow box.
Duh, they have said that they will knock up many If it helps, they are all entirely oblivious as to the cultural ramifications. They are entirely dead serious.
Yeah, and Luca is, yeah, he's really trying hard on not crack up
I need to
laughing.
show you the face that Violet is making. She's going to every time you say knock.
Luca is pretty much doing the same thing.
I think I will win. I have knocked up many people in my time.
I don't know. I would not be so confident of your victory, Sir Borscht. I have defeated many enemies myself.
She is actually giggling at this point.
For a long time, I was
my
able to
God.
knock up people. I got very good at it.
Oh my god!
I could knock up people
Without
all
the-
night.
Luca's going to lean over to. Oh my god!
If you needed someone knocked up in Vladivostok, you called Borscht.
She's just going to give the commoners like a half sideways glance, and she says, "This is serious business. This is no laughing matter. It is a
You're
matter of life
absolutely
and death."
right. You're
For the record.
absolutely right.
If you don't know what Borscht looks like, I've got his face claim, and his face claim does have a porn stash.
Oh my god!
I am made.
Luca is Luca. It looks straight at Void Frost, hoping that Void Frost is catching why two of them are.
Can't stop laughing.
Oh, Luca's managing not quite to laugh, only because his hands planted over his mouth right now.
I choose to point out, I don't necessarily see the issue here. Whether you wanted him to do it with gloves on or with not, Borscht knocked up everyone he attempted to, and it was successful, I say.
Luca loses it.
She looks at Violet and Luca and says, "Your lordship, I do believe your commoners are broken. They might need some readjustment in your workshops."
No, I have to show you guys something. And she's
Luca
gonna
looks right
pull
at
up
her
Urban
and goes,
Dictionary.
Luca looks at Void Frost and explains in Russian.
What do you say to him?
He explains the whole knocked up thing
Borscht,
and what it means in English.
Borscht blinks slowly, twice, and he's going to turn to Baron Voidfrost. And in Fenya, which I don't believe anybody else here speaks, he will say, Have I been telling people that I'm going to get into an impregnating contest with Triasa there?
I believe so.
Well, on the plus side, I have full confidence that I will win still.
No. He holds up a hand. He holds up a hand. He says, "Lady Toyasa, what are you willing to bet that you will be?" I'm gonna have to roll manipulation subterfuge to keep a straight face.
See, Tiger, you say that, but bitch, I got metamorphosis.
It's fine.
I will
Worst actually knows
grow.
what it means.
Hang on, guys. Hang on. I actually have to roll his manip sub because I'm gonna try and make a contest out of this, and I'm going to hell. Oh my god! Call me on my bluff, bitches. Void Frost is fucking icy faced.
I need to actually find.
He's 6 successes. Good god.
She's just going to say, "I do not have much to bet. It was a mere friendly challenge, anyways. I would not want to put direct competition between my house and yours."
No, I should think not. After all, as I said, I have faith in Borsh's ability to knock up the competition. As out of character, we just kill a bunch of PCs. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
He may be a great knocker-upper, so to speak, but is he so skilled at it that he can take their head off in one motion?
Like Superman, I
He will look at her and he will say, "With a single thrust."
That is most impressive.
Horse is going to look at her, and with the fucking most deadpan delivery will say, "There is reason we are called Knocker."
So at this point, Violet just gives up, is laying on her back with her face covered, just laughing.
Can I get in on this bet?
Well, that would not be very fair to just add another person to the challenge.
In House Werich, we are very.
Oh no! I don't mean. Oh, sorry.
We are very competitive in House Werich.
Somebody cheated me in cards once. They took his thumbs. I still have them.
They're in a little jar. They're in a little jar right next to the pickles.
So,
I don't mean getting in on the challenge. I mean on the bet.
oh. The light was down to the fridge one night. That was a bad night.
As I said, never have crisping for pickles in our freehold. You will have said they.
Well,
Oh.
She's still giving the two commoners like a side eye. Like, what the fuck is wrong with these commoners? They must not have gotten their whippings recently.
Oh god. Oh. Well, some whippings might be involved in this.
Oh god! Don't! You need to stop his Violet's reaction to
She didn't say that out loud. She's just thinking.
Okay. Oh, sorry.
I was saying that in response to Ian. That's it. She didn't say it out loud. It's not a problem.
Oh. Oh.
If I may, Baron Voidfrost, how goes your competition with the young knight of House Fiona? Is he still insistent upon throwing himself upon your walls like a berserker on a killing field?
There's an excellent novel called Don Quixote, where a man jousts against windmills. That is the same competency level possessed by Sir Christian.
you should not.
I have heard of these windmills. I am told they give you what is known as cancer. It's a brave and noble thing to fight them.
What did you say, Tiger?
I would not insult the good Don Quixote that way.
No. Perhaps he is more... No, I was going to say perhaps he is more like, what was it, Poncho, but Poncho was intelligent.
No.
Luca's going to walk around the table as he notices that she hasn't gotten up yet. With tears in his eyes because he's laughing. He's going to offer her a hand up as the topic has changed.
Oh, thank you. And she will accept the help, wiping tears from her eyes as well. Oh, yes, Sir Christian recently offered me a great insult, considering we have met many times before, and he never bothered to learn my name.
Would you like me to repay him for this insult, my lady?
Oh, no, it's fine. I simply reminded him that we have met many times before.
If he does it again, and she takes off one of her gloves and hands it to Violet, slap him in the face with this, if he does it to you again.
By the way, Joy, I don't know if you know, but out of character, Violet is a red cap.
I did not know that.
If
she's
you
still
want
gonna do
to
that anyway, though.
change that because she is a red cap, I understand.
What is her appearance score?
Let me look.
Yeah, apparently this meeting has 2 red caps. I did not realize it was a red cap.
Not gonna lie, I am playing a raging lesbian, so she might just do it anyways if she's cute enough.
Okay. She is appearance 2.
Okay, does she have red hair?
Yes.
Then she'll still do it anyways.
I didn't actually realize Violet was a red cap.
She was very surprised that a noble lady would do this for a red cap. My lady, thank you. And she says, and she'll do like a very deep bow.
Triesta will actually bow back and say, "It is my honor, my lady."
We have many things to consider, though. Sir Christian has agreed to go into substantial debt to me, so I am more than happy to accept the debt.
I remember that he did that quite publicly in the middle of the changeling market and was angered at me for mentioning that in front of Borscht.
He looks at
there, but
he looks at Borscht and kind of quirks an eyebrow.
No, this happened. He is a tit. I do not understand why he thinks I would not know, given that you are my baron and we tend to work together. I do not know why it was a big deal for me to find out on the off chance I didn't know, because he did it in public and said it in public. I don't understand him. I don't claim to. He seemed kind of like an idiot from my one interaction with him.
He made agreement with me publicly in Changeling Market. I don't see why it is he expected great secrecy. He was merely borrowing the funds necessary for a new freehold to be created. I see no point in his childish demeanor.
I'm sure there were at least like 4 Balkans there. The word's probably already spread throughout all of Dublin. Possibly.
I mean, I just to point out, I live my life with the assumption that there are at least 4 Balkans constantly listening to my conversations. It's how I've survived this long.
To be fair, you have Sergei always listening to every conversation, even when you don't think he is.
At the moment, I think he's somewhere in the ceiling, hunting chimerical rats. I just stopped asking questions. I would say it's what makes him happy, but I don't think he's capable of happiness.
Are any of us?
Not really.
So Violet is also going to offer Teresa? I can't read the
Triasa.
Triasa. Okay.
Yeah.
She is going to also offer Triasa some clam chowder and calamari.
She will gratefully take some and thank Violet.
But no, needless to say, his attitude leaves much to be desired. You might get an interesting amusement out of this Lady Moonbarrow. He brought an entire motley of commoners when the She were hosting a party he attended in sweat-covered rags that he was working out within the gym.
I see he was wearing the regalia of this court with full pride then.
Oh my. Such statements.
My house has no long lost love for the lions.
Yes. Then again, the lions have long ago forgotten what it is to suffer a long winter, or what it is to endure the cold, hard realities of this world. They sit there with their overblown, pompified concept of chivalry, and that is all they desire. One step worse, and they would be House Gwydion.
Honor is, after all, a means to an end for them.
Quite true. Quite true.
Besides, when one is restrained by honor, one cannot truly experience the joys of life.
As you say, we have our code, and we adhere to our code.
And she nods. I do think, however, that I must be going. I thank you for your hospitality, Baron Whitefrost, and I am looking forward to many more meetings with you and your household.
Indeed, myself and Borscht have work to be getting on with. But it has been a pleasure to meet you all again. Lady Violet, as Borscht will unfortunately be busy during the wedding's festivities, his most to impart upon my living lady wife the party. If you would provide catering.
I missed most of that, not gonna lie. You broke up pretty bad.
Yeah.
Oh, hang on.
No,
That's
you're
a lot
roboting real
worse.
hard.
Can you hear me now? Can you not? Can you
Yes.
hear me? Can you not?
We can hear you way
He
better.
basically says that as Borscht is going to be doing the ceremony for the wedding and will be very much wrapped up in that, he was going to offer you the opportunity to do the catering for the wedding.
Violet?
Yes.
Oh, okay, yes. She will graciously accept.
All except the wedding cake, which is being outsourced to another individual. But that is agreeable, bah?
Yes. Thank you, my lord.
What do you wish payment in? Money or dross?
I have plenty of money. Dross would be acceptable.
How much do you wish?
Oh god, I have no clue what the standard rate would go for in out of character.
I tell you what, we'll work it out. He will give you a fair amount. Normally, your freehold can only produce so much dross, so we'll work it out at a different point. Anyway, we will do the outro. Thank you, players playing. Thank you, watchers watching. This has been another Scene in Darkness in Dublin. Have a pleasant evening.